All right, a lot to get to.
Yeah.
We're going to start with potentially bad news for the Browns. They are aware they can sign offensive players, correct? I wonder if over in Maria they thought that this was the defensive free agent signing period, because apparently they're not doing much. They didn't trade for a guy that everybody here thought would have been a good move. Brandin Cooks leaves the Texans. He stays in Dallas. He stays in Texas rather. Goes to the Cowboys. Guys, for a fifth and a sixth. I mean, and today I know the Browns have to hold tightly to all the picks they have, but it seems to me.
Yeah, I don't think this had anything to do with picks.
They must not like him.
They don't like him, whether they think he's too old, whether they think he's too much money, whatever it is. And my guy TA was like, yeah, he's getting paid a little much, and I respect him as much as anybody in Cleveland. What did tick me off was when I complained about this on Twitter, I had like a couple of hundred fans telling me, he's too old, he's not better than Donovan Peoples-Jones.
Lord.
Nobody was complaining about Brandin Cooks. If the Browns had traded for Brandin Cooks, all these people would have loved it. Then they don't trade for him. Listen, this idea that the Browns front office gets this blanket benefit of the doubt is the stupidest thing I ever heard in my life.
Thank you.
Yeah, they don't.
Now, I'm willing
no one does.
to see, it is only a week. I'm willing to say, okay, the puzzle's not over yet. I'm not going to kill them for Brandin Cooks if a week from now they make a trade for somebody else or whatever. I'm willing to be open-minded that they might make another move for a wide receiver that I like or even like more. Who knows what's going to happen.
Right.
But this idea that they don't need a proven wide receiver or that I should blindly trust the Browns front office is flat out stupid, and I won't do it.
Well, anyone who blindly trusts them was probably a participant in the 0-16 parade.
Yes, they were.
You can't celebrate that nonsense. You can't overlook their lack of activity. To your point, it's the puzzle's still a work in progress. Yeah. But, Brad, we've talked about Brandin Cooks as a guy since the season ended that we thought could complement them. I have a question for you. Here's a guy with the skill set, clearly.
Yeah.
But for some reason, he's been passed around like a two of hearts.
Only the second player ever traded 4 times in the NFL.
And
Eric Dickerson, the other guy.
And I don't know why. I'm wondering, is there something that we don't know about Brandin Cooks? And I know none of us can answer that here.
Yeah.
But from the outside looking in, when he was dealt to Houston, I asked this question. What's wrong with him? Mm-hmm. Why is this guy being discarded by so many teams?
Typically, when you're in that realm, one of two things, right? It is either money driving the deal, and we're just trying to unload things. But after a while, you get a tag on yourself, right? There's something there. So I'm to the point where I don't blindly trust the Browns, but I do this, right? I'm gonna err on the side of this.
You'll give them the benefit of the doubt.
Maybe you know something that I don't know.
Okay.
But I will say this: set that on the side. You still need a wide receiver here, right?
1,000%.
I'm watching the windows close here. People are going all across the board here. We don't seem to be in on anything.
No.
Nothing. And at some point here, somebody has to call the question, what are you doing?
And G. Bush, your approach here is with every move not made, to get a player that you believe can help this team, you're not really where Bull is, ready to wait and see. You're saying they fumbled this offseason already, at least with the free agent moves.
Yeah, like I said it, finish your breakfast, man. Like your mom used to tell you, finish them vegetables before you drink all that juice. You still got to get receivers. I don't know whether, you guys are doing somersaults on the defensive side of the football, but here's the problem. And I'll even go to this. I woke up this morning and saw even more news. I'm not only looking at this, not getting nobody there, but now Anthony Walker going to visit in Washington. Now, Jacoby Brissett and him was the leaders of the offensive defense, right? Mm-hmm. Chances are he's going to go over there. He's going to get enamored, and he probably is going to sign there. So what you're telling me is that y'all is running it back at your two most worst positions besides the line right now. You got Schwartz and Bell still. You got Phillips, JOK, and Taki still. And you don't even have nobody else on the radar. You're not kicking the tires on some of these dudes. Like McCole Hartman is not a splash. That's not a slam dunk. That's a Minimowski move. That's bottom.
What kind of move is
That's
it?
that's Minimowski.
The only players of note. So
That's funny.
at linebacker, Bobby Wagner is the only definite starter left in free agency.
Yeah.
At wide receiver, you have Odell. Whatever you think of him, we've discussed it a lot. There's McCole Hardman, you just mentioned, and DJ Shark are the only other guys of note. Everybody else at linebacker and wide receiver in free agency is a backup type of player.
Right.
Now, the Browns could still make a trade for Jerry Jeudy. I don't think he's getting traded, but you never know. Like, there's other guys, who knows?
They want a first. We don't have a first.
Well,
So
they
it's-
want a first. Doesn't mean they're going to get a first.
No, but
You know what it's like, and I was just thinking about his Minimowski move. Think about this. The Browns, either you're going, I was saying, either you're going to be big time or you're not, right? You
Yeah.
can't fake it, right? It's like somebody buying a big house in the burbs, right? The big, huge house, right?
Yeah.
mansion.
Yeah. And then what happens is, and I've seen this from players I play with, you go to this big spread, big palatial spread, and you go inside, and they don't have no furniture.
Was you looking at my house hunting
You
experience?
be like, where?
Was that on YouTube? You do need
Jay,
furniture, dog.
Jay,
That's the rumor.
Jay,
Unless you're Eddie Murphy.
Jay, where's your furniture?
Right.
So the big house is Watson. You bought the big house.
You got it.
Yeah.
You got to put some furniture in it.
Yeah, you got to finish it off.
Right. You can't go to Jay's Family Furniture down here, right?
Value City.
You like, dang, G. Bush, you only got paper plates, dog.
And the truth is, you say they're running it back on offense. That's actually false. Their skill position roster is worse right now than it was when the last season ended. Because last year you had
Kareem
Kareem
Hunt's off
Hunt,
it.
and the only skill position player you've had is Jordan Akins. So Kareem Hunt's better than Jordan Akins. I know they play two different
And
positions.
likely someone's going with Akins coming, right?
Well, I think they only have two tight ends on the roster. They
Right.
have-
But I mean, Harrison Bryant last year was 32nd among tight ends
yeah,
in PFF grades.
I don't know that they,
Like,
they
and you
might,
know what was interesting about the Akins move?
Bye,
And we'll talk
Harrison.
about it here in just a second, but Akins scored 5 touchdowns, and he didn't play until October 12th.
Right.
And that's the number of touchdowns that Njoku and Bryant combined for.
See,
And he's got a history with Deshaun Watson.
Right.
see, and McNuggets.
But that being said, G, though, if the Browns sign McCole, let me just ask you this: if they end up signing McCole Hardman and then drafting a wide receiver in the second round, you still angry?
ain't enough.
I don't think it's enough.
Ain't enough.
I don't think it's enough, and I don't think you would think it's enough because you've said
Ain't
they
enough.
need a big piece. Hardman is a piece, and a second-round pick based on what they've done with their last 2 third-round
Right.
wide receiver picks.
enough.
I don't trust them there.
That's fair.
They'd have to prove it to me
That's
first.
fair. Although if we just assume all their picks are going to be crappy, then they might as well
Well,
fire.
I can't assume. I'm just going
but
on
they
track
gotta
record.
prove it. I agree.
I'm
It
going
is-
on track
yeah.
record. And D-line and wide receiver, they've just not been good.
It is different. It is different if you know that the person that is in charge of procuring the talent has a skill set for finding talent. Right.
Right.
Now, you talk about Maryland, so I'll go back to Maryland women basketball. Last year we had 3 portal kids leave, big time portal kids leave, and then we had 2 that graduated. So we were decimated.
Right.
So this all came about in April.
Wow.
Right, in April. This
Too
is after
late
recruiting.
then.
So Brenda Freeze, who was known for finding WNBA talent, got out in the circuit and found these kids, right? One at Princeton, one at Vanderbilt,
In
one
portals.
at Florida. In the portal.
Right.
Right. Now, we didn't know who these kids were, right? We
Sure.
didn't know what they had to do, right? But over the course of the season, she was able to put it together, and it's all coming together now.
So you trust them.
I don't. It can be done if
Yeah.
you have
Yes.
the person that understands how to seek out and find talent, and put it together.
And you know what, Brad? That's an interesting point because sometimes it's not just the biggest names, as we learned with Beckham and Jarvis
yeah.
Landry. It's how those pieces fit together.
That's how Maryland blew up last year because we had Angel Reese was down.
You had
there,
the All-Americans.
We had all of them,
Yeah.
right? And then the problem was at the end,
You had too many.
too many, right? And
Only
then,
one ball.
And so if the Browns have somebody who I don't know who is over here procuring and putting the pieces together and they have a plan, that's different.
Sure.
But what I see from the outside is what you guys see. It leaves you to think, what are you doing? And then I go back to the
Yeah.
history. What have you done?
If we were to throw out a grade right now for Andrew Berry's accumulation of talent skills, okay? Also known in the business as ATS.
Right.
I just made that up.
Yeah.
What grade would we give him so far?
C-.
I'm with you. I was going to say C-.
I'm in the C category. C plus
C-
minus all the same.
Well, hold on.
You average.
I might change my mind, but McNuggets, you got your head. You got the script.
Yeah, G, think of this real quick, but while we're waiting, I just want to remind you guys that BetJack is the official sportsbook of the great state of Ohio. Sports betting is now live. The tournament is going on. Free agency bets are open. And NBA draft bet and lines are now on BetJack. You can download the app today, so you'll be first to go on all the action. BetJack, it is Ohio Sportsbook. G, did you change your mind?
I'm gonna go with C minus. And the reason I'm gonna
Funny, we all agree.
The reason I'm gonna go with C minus is because I sent you something on some receivers on Twitter, McNuggets.
Want to see those tag boards?
Yeah. And so what I did is I wanted to establish a theme here today, Jay.
do it.
I wanted to establish a theme that this isn't anything new. Now
This is in the order you sent them. I'm not sure where you want to go, so I'll follow you.
Let's talk.
Wait, isn't Greedy gone already?
Yeah, Greedy just signed.
So what I'm
Some
doing?
of these tweets are from a long
pointing out
while
old
ago.
tweets.
He's just showing
So
out
we
trends.
point out old tweets.
I saw you
Okay.
retweeting these.
And so I'm sitting here saying, Bull, this is from what year, McNuggets?
This one, according to
2
from
years ago?
2021.
2021.
This tweet was January 17th, 2021.
So in
before the 21 season.
2021 season, as you can see, we needed 1 or 2 new linebackers, D tackles, D ends, and some DBs. Now think about that. That's 2 years ago. They've never got them 2 linebackers, and they still swinging and missing on D ends. Can we go to the next exhibit?
The next one is from November of 2021.
Wow, man. November 2021. This is after they done saw us get smoked.
Yeah, right.
And somebody astutely pointed out we needed them. By November, somebody else came around and said, boy, we need some linebackers with a heartbeat. Sheesh. We still ain't got them linebackers. Let's keep it going, McNuggets. Let's see a theme. So when you tell Bull, because I saw him getting on Bull, when you keep telling Bull that, you know what, in AB we trust. Y'all better stop all them slogans. He don't get a pass because he could have read these tweets too. He know what's in the cupboard. He know it's dry, but he been here 2 years, ain't did nothing. Now look at this. A couple of preseason takeaways from the preseason. This is next year.
Okay.
We in 2022. At Brissett for 11 games is scary thought. They need more receivers, B. C, they need more receivers.
All caps.
All caps. And please maybe get me Jimmy G. Now let me tell me this. This is astute by somebody who is now in 2022, who has seen the receivers. And we still ain't got no receivers. You not move one eye.
What are we saying in 2023?
We're going to
Wait, no. Before,
We got
we're
one
going to go
more?
back to 2011 for G's last one. G found me a tweet from 11 years ago.
Well,
G,
none of these folks were here.
take it
then,
away.
but- okay.
Well,
Oh, I
look,
see what
so,
you-
yeah,
I know what you're gonna do.
2011. So maybe I'm just Duke of knee jerk, right?
Okay.
Maybe I'm the Duke of knee jerk, and I'm just a prisoner in the moment. But this guy says
We need to help out
We
Colt
need to
McCoy.
help out Colt McCoy.
That was my first year in Cleveland. I remember saying, I think Colt McCoy's going to be okay this year.
And that means since you've been in Cleveland, they ain't had one receiver.
Well, I
Ain't
do
even
have-
figured it out.
They had 2 receivers.
One of them kept going.
Josh Gordon
Josh Gordon
1 year.
had a
1 year,
flash.
And Amari Cooper.
Appropriately enough.
And Mark
Listen,
Cooper
hold
last
on.
year.
Jarvis' numbers weren't bad.
Jarvis
Jarvis
had
was
1,000 yards.
Yeah.
Jarvis
That-
had a couple.
Jarvis had it sprinkle in there. But
Amari Cooper last year was the second best
here's
season of
my-
Browns receivers since 2011.
You know, I think here's the best way to say it.
Yeah.
We have not had a sustained
No,
wide
right.
receiver threat for more than 1 year. Because Flash was a year, OBJ had one really good year.
Yeah.
Jarvis had a pretty good year.
I don't think OBJ had a good year.
Well,
I mean,
based on what he
barely
gave
had
us his
1,000
last
yards.
year here, it was.
based on what we got now, I'll take that.
By the way, the Browns, the last good Browns linebackers, the only good linebacker the Browns have had
DeQuell.
since DeQuell was they had DeMario Davis for a second, and they gave him away.
And they gave him away.
Gave
He's
him
the
away.
top backer
He's
in the
become-
game.
Become one of the best linebackers in football. We gave him away.
Why?
And here's the thing, guys. We give Andrew Berry a C minus. Let's say we wanted to go up and give him a C or whatever. Let's be, even if we wanted to be
Man, you're
generous.
C plus. You're generous in my
Just be
mind.
nice.
Anything
I
above
think
a
it's
C
plus,
minus.
but let's say we're
is
being
generous.
overly harsh, and he really should be a C.
Yeah.
I don't agree with
I
that.
said it
Let's
was.
say we're
I
being
said it
overly.
was a C, but go ahead.
Okay.
It's the same thing. Our fans have been battered, bruised, and beaten. This organization has been nothing but trash since coming back in '99. This is not the Guardians/Indians, who have been, for the most part, an excellent organization since the mid-'90s. They've had a few bad years, but for the most part have been great. The Cavs have had two great runs with LeBron, and now they're a pretty good team again. The Browns have basically been trash, with almost no exceptions,
That's fair.
for almost 30 years.
That is fair.
And so when Baker Mayfield wins one playoff game and they have one decent season, when Andrew Berry gets a couple of things right and he's a C, that feels like we should defend that, because everything else is an F.
Yeah.
All the other quarterbacks were Fs. So if Baker's a C, I don't want to mess with that. All the other GMs were Fs. So if Andrew Berry's a C minus, even a C. Don't mess with that. That's better. How many times have you heard
Losers
from our
mentality,
fans?
though. It's a
Every day.
loser's
It's
mentality.
It's better
though.
than what we had.
Yeah.
The goal is not to be better than what you had. The goal is to win a freaking Super Bowl.
Well, let me see. The Cleveland suffers from this, and I'll just give it from perspective of a player who's been in the league where other people think of the franchises here, and this is not singling out one franchise. Cleveland's the type of place that does not go all in, like they're afraid to be great, right? It's my point. You commit to signing Watson, you pay an ungodly sum of money, right?
Yes.
Beyond anything everybody's ever done, right? At that point, Jay, you've committed to it, right?
Yeah.
Well, now you have to go all in.
You're
you
off
gotta
the
put
porch.
You got to put all the chips on the table.
You're off the porch. You
Right.
better run with the dogs.
But see, we have buyer's remorse. After we do the big boy move, right? We do the big boy move. We're doing the Dallas move. We're doing the New York move, right? You signing Watson. And then we sit back like, we signed Watson. I can't go get
Brad,
OBJ.
is there anything
I
to
can't go
this,
get
though?
nobody.
They made two big boy moves in getting Landry and OBJ. Didn't end well.
You have to continue with the game. You can't back up. Either you gonna be a player or you're not gonna be a player.
The game is the game.
I told you, it's
Always.
just like it's just like the plane on the Bulls plane, right? On the airplane with the Bulls. We had two leagues of tunk playing for money. You had the major league
And the
and
wussies.
the minor league.
Right.
The major league boys knew there was some skin, you were going to lose some money possibility.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Right.
they stayed in the major league. They weren't going over there and playing in the minor league. Let me tell you who Cleveland is. We play one hand in the major league and lose. We play one hand of cards in the major
scared.
league and lose, and we get scared, and then we go what? We
Go
go back to the minor
From
league.
the $5,000 table back to the $25 table,
Right.
Yes.
like that. you know?
Right, because you're scared.
I got burned. I'm out.
You can't do that. And you, again, I brought this up time and time again. If you look at the three best teams in the AFC, the Chiefs, the Bengals, the Bills, yes, they have a great quarterback, but all three of those teams have a Hall of Fame caliber pass catcher.
Yeah.
The Chiefs
Yeah.
have Kelsey, who's a Hall of Famer, and the Bills have Diggs, who's on a Hall of Fame track. The Bengals have Chase. It's early, but obviously the first 2 years of his career have been early Hall of
He's
Fame
had
tracks.
two Hall of Fame type
Right.
seasons.
But let me
Though
tell
you have I'm not saying it's not an absolute. I'm not in the grand scheme of the NFL. You don't always have to have that. But look at where we are in the AFC. The disparity between the AFC and NFC, I don't think has ever been bigger.
It hasn't.
Nine of the top 10 quarterbacks in the league are in the AFC. 9 of the top 10. Who's the second best quarterback in the NFC? Matt Stafford, maybe. Dak,
Kirk
maybe.
Cousins.
Kirk Cousins. There's
Jones.
9 quarterbacks better than those guys, maybe more. Who would you say? Daniel
Shut
Jones.
up.
The fact that you said that and thought you
funny.
could sneak it in
Yeah, I was like-
makes Bull's point.
It's an arms race in the AFC, and it's not just enough to have the quarterback. You've got to have more.
But it takes two to tango here. Let me tell you what that you playing in a major league, minor league, that little example I just laid out for you does to the free agents out here, the people who you need to bring in here to be enamored. They not coming because you giving off an air that you're not for real. You're not real. You fools
Right.
gold.
Right.
I'm not fooling with you because you're not gonna do the right thing, right?
Like,
but they've signed free agents.
No. You have to stay in the game. Bull, you can name the teams in any sport. The ones that are major players, they gonna make a move
I
when it's
agree
time to
with
make a
you.
move.
I'm just saying, wide receiver wasn't an area in free agency.
I'm saying
they were able to get a guy.
I'm not speaking just wide receiver. I'm talking
Yeah.
about there's a mentality, there's a standard, there's a culture here, right? And when you don't have any culture, the people that got game, they not fooling with you. They just not.
And I look at it this way, this is alarming to me. So think about it like this. You said back in the day, you said something, and I was just thinking about it when I was at home. You said, who's scouting these people?
Yeah.
Who are the guys that
Who is the guy?
evaluating
Who are the
saying that
guys?
this is
Who's
this
the girl?
talent?
It don't have to be a guy.
What individual?
Who is the person?
Because my thing is, I can't give the Browns the benefit of the doubt when their playoff team's going to get guys. So how smart are you when teams that are perennial playoff guys are going out there to the market saying, give me him, I got a spot for him, let me do this. And you sitting back with this terrible hand,
Yeah.
you got a pair of twos, and I got a 2 pair, and you going against the rest of these guys already loaded.
Yeah.
Who's evaluating these people?
Now, but to be fair, we were giving the Browns a good grade last week for what they've done so far. And I think we all like the moves they've made on defense. I get it, they still need a linebacker, at least one.
The question, though, is we like them. They
Yeah.
haven't done anything yet
That's
that
been
I'm
like,
in love
oh,
with.
we got it now.
Yeah, but I mean, how much could you have been? What was the move that you could have been in love with?
You
Well,
still
give me Hargrave. I'm in love with that.
You could have you can still get Wagner today. You can still get McCole Hardman today. You still can kick.
Are you going to be McCole Hardman's not a move you're in love with.
No. But what I'm saying
Yeah.
is, if you get him, now you can say, okay, because they're under the impression they don't need nothing when they really need 2.
Well, if they are under that impression, they're out of their minds. I do think overall, I think the Browns have done decently in free agency. I overall give them a good grade, but they have 2 glaring needs, and if they don't get a veteran wide receiver, a good veteran wide receiver, at some point here, yes, I'm going to be much harder.
So where does decently help you here if everybody else is getting major?
Well, not everybody else is not.
What is
Not that's not accurate.
Here, we're in the bottom. We're in the last place, right? So you have to
last
overperform.
place. Yes.
You have to overperform.
Thank you.
Because you have to compensate for the stuff you didn't have before.
The team that wins free agency doesn't necessarily.
No, but I'm saying it's not winning free agency.
Yeah.
It's the culture. That's what gets you players. People go to Maryland because they got a
But they
chance to
have
put
gotten
people.
player, Brad. They signed 6 free agents. I mean,
Listen,
Guys, Odell
there-
Beckham Jr. has reached a desperation point of tweeting out over the weekend.
Yeah, that's a
Whoever said I asked for 20,
Right.
I just ain't playing for 4.
Yeah.
That was interesting to me.
well, there's no money.
His phone
what's
is not
name?
ringing off the hook.
Chauncey Gardner from the Eagles. Everybody says he's going to get huge money. Got
He
nothing.
got minimal.
Nothing.
Nothing.
And I'm wondering now, are the Browns
Yep.
going to enter that OBJ arena if they feel that he can be had in the 8 range, maybe?
They're already there, Jay, which is scary.
Wouldn't you rather them take a young guy with upside?
I would. And
I
I'm an
would.
OBJ guy.
You can still do that. You can still draft a young guy.
No, I'm saying if it's between McCole Hardman and OBJ, I know OBJ at his best was a lot better than what Hardman's been so far. I'd rather go with a 25-year-old than a 30-year-old.
The problem is,
at this point,
when you go visit, this is what tells me you don't know what you're doing. If you just got rid of this guy 2 years ago,
yeah.
what does it say that you're back scouting him 2 years later and going to his private
Well,
workout?
they got rid of him because he forced his way out. I mean,
But-
it wasn't.
But here's the problem.
Yeah.
If you've made a decision as an organization that you don't want that person, right? It's like people getting divorced and then getting married.
But let me
again.
ask you this: was it the decision? It's either you or Baker.
Yes, and
Okay.
they put their.
And they were more married to Baker.
They were
at
more
that
married
point.
to Baker, but
Now they're divorced from Baker.
But if you would have said before this free agency started, Bull,
Yeah.
that Odell Beckham Jr. might be the best available option at receiver,
I'm jumping on it.
I would have thought you was crazy.
All right.
I'm jumping on it.
But
At this point, I'm jumping on it. I'm jumping on it.
Go get him.
I'm not interested personally, but if they do it, we'll see.
Well, listen.
I have zero faith he stays
You know,
healthy.
here's how he stays healthy.
Yeah.
And there's one sure way to make sure he stays healthy. McNuggets.
It's about eating Built Bars. to keep
Sure.
all your
Told you.
tendons,
There it
knees,
is.
ankles,
It's that simple.
arms. 15 grams of protein. They are delicious. Doesn't matter how much money you make. If you use promo code LOCKDOWN15 at Built.com, you get that discount. I do want to bring one more thing in this conversation.
What is that?
We talked about the Browns' moves so far this offseason.
Right.
Just on this offseason, Steve, take tag board full. I know PFF is not the end-all, be-all, but they have given the Browns an A- so far in their offseason free agency signings, which is the second highest, or at least tied for second highest, of any team in the league behind Miami, who did get a major boost for the Jalen Ramsey trade, even though I think we all agreed last week Ramsey may not be the same caliber of player we saw
They're
the last few years.
overvaluing Jalen Ramsey.
That's why this is disappointing, because they had an opportunity to seize the day and to gain some momentum on what they did defensively. You got 3 defensive linemen now that are legit starters, 2, 3 more that can rotate in at defensive tackle. And all you need to do to finish that up is say, let's go get a leader to call the plays for him and seal it up.
Agreed. It's not too late, though.
No, it's not too late.
It's not too late.
It's not too late.
We'll see what they do, right? I mean, you could say, well, they're not talking to anybody, not hearing any rumors. I didn't hear a thing about the Bengals signing Orlando Brown until they signed Orlando Brown. Not a thing. There was no rumors of that at all.
And we didn't think that you were signing back that linebacker either.
Exactly.
And they just got it done. So yeah, it's time. Listen, I'm the Duke of knee-jerk. You know what I bring to the table. I'll be here shaking my legs real fast tomorrow if they do it.
What amplifies that is when you see players that you think should have been on the Browns' radar signing to go to other places for a 5th and a 6th.
That hurt. That's the part that hurt.
That's the part that hurt. The thing about that is it's clear that there were not many teams interested in him.
You're right.
Here's the thing that alarms me, and I know a bunch of people they're out on the circuit, right? People that you thought the Browns had been rumored to be chasing, and you find out or hear through the grapevine that they're not laying real wood down on the table. They just talking. They just talking big.
They just want to be in headlines.
I just want somebody to mention my name.
I want to
along with you. I'm close to
I
you.
want to stand next to this money. See, if I'm driving with the Bulls, I ain't got no money. I'm gonna stand next to this money though.
Right.
Yeah, all y'all can't talk to Brad. I'm 6'5". I'm holding the bags though.
And then you had some people out here that really was thinking about coming here, and then when it's time to put up the cheese.
Can you match?
They were like, ain't putting no cheese. I'm in the minor league.
When it came,
I'm leaving.
When it came to get that credit card with sales, they say, you got to ask for the credit card.